Hi there. Welcome to part 2 of this video series, my creative process. This is just sharing a little glimpse of my creative process in creating a garment and a sewing pattern. So let's begin. We left off with me designing the sleeve, and I ended up with actually a two-piece sleeve. So we have the sleeve pattern that will sit on your shoulder. There's a front and back to the sleeve pattern. And then we have an under piece that goes under the arm. I did not curve this sleeve at the elbow as in a traditional jacket, but this is meant to hang sort of long and slim down with our baggy pockets and somewhat of a narrow, it's sitting on the shoulder, so it should fit. Webster's in the studio today. I finished the sleeve pattern, and then I finished the pocket pattern, and I've actually placed the pocket on one side. I'm going to put him down for a little bit. And he's so little mini. So I've actually put the pocket in place, and I have been working on some hand stitching on the garment. So there's our pocket. I've also cut out a piece of interfacing, and you can baste it on. I don't actually sew it on, but I did sew on my pocket, and I just basted it around, just top stitched around here, right on the edge, just to keep it in place. So that'll give the front some structure because the pocket is quite heavy. There's a lot of fabric in there. And then the pocket is just this great shape. And then we've got a gusset that we've sewn on. We've done this pocket before. Then I've stitched it on. But what's interesting about this piece is I've actually, we're going to catch it on the underneath. So the pocket's actually going to sit a little bit lower than the jacket length. And then I caught it up here with a little sewing, and then just to make it lay flat, otherwise it was puckering too much. And then I added my top stitching. And I'm just finishing, I've just sewn on the second pocket, and now I'm just finishing my top stitching on my pocket. I love hand stitching on garments because it just makes it that much more special. You know, when I design a garment, anybody can design a jacket or a top or a pair of pants, but I always try to inject something special into my design, something that will make it that it's something that you can't find anywhere else. And I think that's the whole point of design. We can all make a t-shirt, but what's special about the t-shirt? So that's why I always add these sort of unusual pieces or a little bit of easy technique that will make your garment that much more special. We're at the stage where I've just added the sleeves, and I've got my back and my fronts on, my pockets on, and I added the sleeves. And the sleeves took a few turns going around with the two-piece sleeve and trying to fit it into the armhole to make it perfect. This has some shape to it, so it's been, you know, any tailored garment is a little tougher than a flat form kind of oversized piece. So, you know, adjusting for that as I'm going with the fabric, and then I go to the pattern piece and adjust the patterns, the paper pattern. If you recall in the beginning, I had this all gathered in the back here, and I decided that I didn't want all that because it looked like a fishtail. So now it's flatter, and it's actually, it looks great because it's a little bit more flattering. I added the dot and some hand stitching in the back. And then it just hangs really fun. And then we've got our front pockets. So, and the sides are really shaped. So we're at the point where we're pinning our collar in place. And that's what I'm about to do right now. And I have stitched my collar pieces together. I make it quite easy especially with the lining. And that will be our next step. So I center my collar, right sides together. So once all this is done on the paper and we're satisfied with the actual garment, and it really goes through cycles of adjustments in this design process. So once I have my paper pattern and I'm satisfied with that, we lay the patterns on a flat surface and go through each measurement. I then make sure that, the shoulders are matching to the sleeves, or to the back, to the sides are matching, the pockets fit well, and we go on to digitizing. And then again, everything is remeasured, so to the millimeter. I mean, it's quite fascinating. If our armhole is 12.5621, then part of that sleeve has to measure exact. So whenever we're doing sort of a tailored piece, it always takes a little bit more time. So I've got my collar piece on, and on the right side of my jacket. So I'm going to stitch that on, and then I'm going to add my lining. And the way the lining works is I literally lay them flat against each other. And the collar will be sandwiched in between, and I will stitch these together all the way around the edge, matching the shoulders, matching my front all the way down and to the bottom. And then I will leave some room in the bottom open so that I can turn it, and then we will open it up and stitch it down and do all the finishings. So I'll be right back. So welcome back. I attached the collar, as you can see, and I attached this back collar on, and then I put the facing to the front of the jacket. It's obviously pinned, so it's puckering in parts, but its little pockets came out really cute. I love that look. I'm really into it. It needs a lot of adjusting, so that's what we're going to work on next in the studio. But the lining came out really well, and if I did it again, I think I'm going to put like a little lipstick pocket over here, a little welt pocket. But I think overall it came out well. The back ended up a little too short, so we're going to fix that as well. So my process is pretty simple. I have an idea, and I shared this with you before. I don't know if you can see it. I think last time it was a little too bright, but there's the little jacket. And it came out pretty well. I think I added more collar into it than I first thought, but then if this moves up, I could wear it like I have it in my little image. The pockets, I think, came out really cute. This is not an easy project. This is definitely for a little bit of an advanced sewer. The back came out great. I put in 2 dots, so we put those in. I did this dot the back to give the back a little shape, and then we added the peplum, which you can see like it's just a little too short here. So we're going to recreate that and recut that, so all this has to come off. But that's okay. That's the part of the process. In drafting the sleeve, we came up with 2 pieces, the top, and then we have this undersleeve. So that's fun. And I also cut, the sleeves on the bias, which is really fun because it added, and they hang straight, they don't twist. So that is a consideration in using fabrics. And then the undersleeve I cut on the grain. So that worked out well. And then again, you know, your lining could be, we use diamond textile, so it's got this sort of wintry weightish, it's almost schoolboyish in its structure, and I love it. I think it's definitely got potential. And so next, I relook at the paper pattern. We reflect on this, on what we would change and what I would keep, and then it gets turned into basically a digitized pattern with instructions and all the good stuff. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and just a little glimpse into how this all comes about, how these garments come about. And this definitely was a little bit more technical than I usually do, but I thoroughly enjoyed being here and sharing my process with you.